I'm so excited. Today I'm here with my friend Michael White from one of my favorite tools. Everybody knows I'm a huge fan of Smart Scout. I use it like every day. It's one of my top tools for Amazon. And so I'm considering launching a product and Michael here is going to help me with the market research, and we're gonna just get into it and just see what my competitors are doing in the space and if there's a spot for me. And we're going to show you how to do this with Smart Scout, which Smart Scout looks different than any other tool that you've ever used. Any other Amazon tool you've ever used, Smart Scout is going to be different, and it's going to give you some really awesome data. So you guys are going to absolutely love this. And then we're going to have a special offer for you as well. Smart Scout always hooks me up with the good stuff. So anyway, without further ado, Michael, say hi.
Amy, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be on this week. Yeah, excited to dive in. We can go over, we can kind of explore some of these categories and look at some of these niches together.
Yeah, I love that. I use Smart Scout every day for just everything from competitor research to just digging into a category, market research, spying on my competitors' keywords. I love that. And I've had great results creating ads and finding gaps in ads. So I'm hoping we can show all of that today to everyone. Okay, you guys. So what I've been thinking about is I've been thinking about launching a line of collectible soaps. So these soaps would be shaped, have different shapes, right? When I was in Mexico at my trade show, Evil Latam in Mexico City last year, I found this amazing soap supplier that could make these soaps in these really unique shapes. And I love seasonal products because even though they're seasonal, you can sell a lot in a very short period of time. And with the supplier, I can source like a very small amount of soaps. And since they're in Mexico, it's super easy, free trade, get them here. I can do like 50 at a time in different shapes and test it out. So I've been thinking about this for a little bit over a year. And I thought, what better opportunity than now to sit here with Michael and do this together and try to figure out where's the opportunity? Is there opportunity in these shaped soaps that I'm looking for? So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start on Amazon. I'm going to share my screen, and let me see here. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to look for the opportunities here. And then we're going to use Smart Scout to dig in further into the category. So let's do it. Okay, here we go. All right, so can everybody see this? There we go. So I'm thinking about some soaps shaped, and I'm using another tool that I love called Seller.Tools Chrome extension, and they show me the different search volumes. So shaped soaps gets 572 searches, and then you can see we have like these other shapes of soap. So heart, sun, rose, seashell. It seems like pretty summer seasonal, right? So let's see, like, okay, rose-shaped soaps gets 881 searches. I wonder what that's all about. Let's see. So let's just bring up the page for rose-shaped soaps, and let's see what's going on. The other thing I'm looking for here, Michael, is I want to know what their rank is, what their BSR is. So, I'm trying to see like what is selling well. So.
For sure. And another thing I'm always checking as well, which will help us in Smart Scout later, I'm also always looking at what categories they fall in as well. Yes, it's going to be, yes, it's going to be in home, but also like what else? Is this in bath? Is this in anyway? That will also help us to dial in a little bit later.
Right. So this one is interesting. This floral scented bath soap. It's got essential oils, but look at the price. Super cheap, and that box looks expensive, right? So that makes me nervous about diving into these collectible soaps because it can't seem, even if their BSR is okay in beauty and personal care, you can't be making that much money at $8.75. So I'm really going, okay, well, this makes me nervous. So let's try some of these other let's look at seasonal soaps and see if we can find anyone who's selling really well. So of course the seasonal soaps is mostly the hand pumped ones. So this is really interesting. I know that there's like, I'm trying to find soaps that are shaped like things, right? Like,
So I just found one. I've been browsing. I just sent it over to you.
oh, you did?
Let's take a look at this Ace. I think it looks interesting. It looks fun anyway.
Okay, sweet. Let me bring it up. Here we go. Okay, can everybody see that? Oh, hang on. Let me just pull it up in my tab that I'm sharing right now. Okay, so we've got these nautical soaps. It's like a pack of them. Ooh, $34. Bingo, Michael. Well done.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, okay, cool. So this kind of shows us that, you know, there are some interesting ones here. And then I can also see these kids unique bar soaps. Look at these in the shapes. And they have 100 reviews. They're at $28.99. So I know they must have some decent margins. I love looking at ads too. Like whenever I'm finding something, I'll look at ads to see if like there's another, you know, competitor that's doing something. So let's check out this category because this is really interesting. Let's check this out on Smart Scout. First of all, I'm going to scroll down and see. Let me scroll back up. I'm sorry if I'm making everybody dizzy. Here we go. They're in beauty and personal care bath soaps. And then I'm just going to look at this other kids one here because I think that their price point is really awesome. And so they're at $28.99 for this one, for these shapes, for these unique shapes. And let's just see what category they're in so we can compare the two categories. So this is $15.46 in bath soaps as well. So the bath soaps category looks like what we're looking for. And look at these little soap minis. $17.95. Yes, this is really great. Okay, so I think I'm ready to take this over to Smart Scout now and see what you can show me in the bath soaps category. I want to see what brands are just rocking the category. And of course, Michael, I want to give you freedom to do what you would do if you were considering a product in this category.
Awesome. Yeah, so here, let me share my screen.
Yeah, I think you're already sharing. Let me bring it up. There we go.
There we go. Sorry. Thank you. Alrighty. So I'm going to drop down to subcategories here. So just quick overview for those of you who haven't looked at subcategories before. What we're looking at is kind of the top to bottom revenue of what's happening every month on Amazon. So for example, clothing, shoes, and jewelry does $6 billion in revenue every month.
Oh my gosh.
And then, so beauty and personal care, which is what we're going to be focusing on, 2.5 billion a month. So we're going to actually do a drop down. So there's two ways we can get this, but I want to do the tree. We basically have this broken down as a tree, the subcategory tree, and it's really interesting for understanding a market. So let's open it up a little bit. So we have hair care, skin care. Now what we want to find is we're trying to get to bath soaps. Bath soaps, I would imagine, is going to be in personal care. Let me see. Bath and bathing accessories is 40 million a month. Bath, and then bath soaps isn't there. Where is bath soaps hiding? See, sometimes even I have to explore a little bit. Bath sponges.
And what I do when I'm using you guys, I just put bath soaps into the search bar at the top, and then it pulls up all the categories that are relevant.
Let's do that. I was hoping I could just do it right after. Okay. Body cleansers, soaps. Okay, so cleansers is 65 million in revenue, and then soaps and bath soaps. Bath soaps alone is 29 million. Okay, so let's open up.
I just want a little piece of that pie, Michael.
Yep. So interesting thing here. Hold on, let me see.
Ooh, we can see the growth. That's cool.
Yeah, here, hold on. Sorry, close collections here. I'm just looking through. Let's see. Units sold. So we see that it's pretty seller dominated. Like Amazon really isn't participating. There's about 2,000 brands here. But obviously they're not all doing what we're doing. So what I'm going to do is I want to see all the brands that play in the soap category. Dr. Squatch. Obviously, these aren't our competitors because we're doing something even more niche than this. But it's good for us to see like what others are doing revenue wise. It kind of gives us like some perspective. So first step that I would actually do is I would actually come to products.
Yes, that's what I do too. I love just like highlighting over the picture of each product in each category. So we can see Dr. Squatch is doing $412,000 monthly revenue in this handmade soap. That's pretty significant. I mean, I love these soaps, so maybe I'm going to buy from Dr. Squatch because 412,000. And you know, we can see that they're really dominating both. The other thing that I see here is you guys see how there's two brands for Dr. Squatch. What Smart Scout does that no other tool does, or at least not that I'm aware of, is you guys show the estimated revenue for each variation. So even if it's a variation listing, you can see the estimated revenue. So if you're considering kind of copying your competitors in their colors of their listings or whatever, you can check that out in this tool. And it's very, very powerful because you can kind of make better decisions that way. So I was talking to Scott about how you guys do that. And, you know, you play a little game with, you know, how many reviews each one has, and, you know, you give it a decent percentage. But I have tested this out with clients who sell variations, and they say that your data is pretty accurate. So that's pretty awesome. You guys should be proud of that. That's awesome.
Well, I'm always happy to hear it. That's great. Yeah. So basically, our formula here is we base it off of like, okay, how many reviews does each variation have? And if one of the variations has 80% of the reviews, then usually that means that they're going to have about 80% of the sales. Now it's not a perfect science by any means, and there's a couple other factors we use, but that's one of the ways we're able to key in and kind of tell the story of some of those like specific variation pages, which is super helpful, especially when you're in soaps or any consumable that's going to have lots of variations.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's take a look now. We can see, you know, Dr. Squatch is like really dominating the category, and we can see some of the other handmade soaps are really, I mean, they're doing really good. When you look at that, handmade soaps are doing better than Dove. That's good for the little guy.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure.
Wow. Okay.
So the next thing I would actually do here is, now this isn't going to be perfect, right? But what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to search through my title. I'm going to actually look, just because going off of the ones that we're playing with, right? They both have shape. I think they both have shapes in the name, don't they? Does the kids one have shape in the name? So that's going to be the keyword we're going to use to like filter out the Dr. Squatches.
I think it's shapes plural. I think I don't know if that matters, but both of them have the keyword shapes plural in their title.
Okay. We'll see. It'll take a second because I think there's about 11,000 products here. So it'll take it a second. But basically, we just want to see the hit list of, okay, so here is these are all the people who are using shapes in the title. Wow. I don't know how we did this, Amy, but we happened to find the ones right off the bat. We can see their monthly revenue estimate.
It doesn't look great. It's not giving me like huge hope, but it is giving me more information about the market and how I should be thinking about this market. And if I were to differentiate in a way where some of the bigger players in this category are doing, I would probably change to more of a handmade vibe. And maybe do some because imagine doing the, the sea soaps were very popular, people with beach houses, stuff like that. So what we could do in that case with the sea soaps is actually make them out of a handmade soap, right? The very, the things that people really love, and then just put them into the beautiful shapes. So you can use the market data of what people are doing and what's going well, and you can apply it to other ideas that are also doing well, but might even appeal to the customer more. So you're giving me ideas just by going through this. You're giving me ideas about my differentiation and what I should be considering.
Yeah, exactly. Like we got into a niche within a niche. One thing I want to do here, let me do this really quick. So I'm going to try something risky. We'll see if this works or not. I might just fail live on this webinar. We'll call
Amy's soap.
Amy's soaps.
Now you're going to be tracking my soaps in your Smart Scout.
So I'm just going to come to my collection real quick. So what I did real quick there is I just created a little collection with these soaps. And now I want to pull up scope. Let's see if it works. Oh, it does work. So basically we can now see with those 4 products, how's their growth been? Let's do it over the last 24 months. So now we can start to see seasonal. Like I wanted to check seasonality, but also just overall trend. Like, do we feel like it's going up? It is going up. Is it the sexiest graph I've ever seen in my life? No, but like overall, the market is growing over the last 2 years, and that's what I wanted to test for.
Okay, but look at how slim though for seasonality in December of 2021. Look at how high the graph is, and then look in December of 2022. They did not do as well.
I wonder if it's more management, because I'm sure that we will have to dive into these. Here, let's go back to those products really quick here. It's because
do you know what I like to do, Michael? What else I like to do, if I see a brand that's doing well with one soap, I want to know what they're doing. So let's pull up Zyna Kids brand, and let's figure out what are they selling and how does it look. So we can either pull it up from this screen right here, or we can click on brands in this collections tab, or we can go into brands on the key tools side and type in the brand. But let's bring them up and let's get some information on this brand and what they're doing and what else they're selling. And this is the other thing, you guys, that you are going to love about Smart Scout is you can actually pull up another brand and see all the products that they're selling, the amount of revenue of each one, the variations. And so I want to know right now, we only are seeing the one thing that Zyna Kids is selling, and it's doing okay. Like it's a decent monthly revenue, but do they have something else in their pocket that we don't know about? Do they have a really great line of products that something else I should be considering? So we're going to let Michael show us this brand in Smart Scout, and let's see what else they're doing that I might need to be looking at.
Yeah, so here's their brand overall. So they're doing about 15,000 a month in revenue. So like they're small, they're growing. But let's look at their products. Yeah, let's see what other SKUs they have, because so much of their revenue.
I don't see it right now. Are you on a different tab?
Oh, I'm on a different tab. I'm so sorry. Let's share this tab instead. Sorry.
That's okay.
We went over to. We looked up Zyna, and then I pulled them open, and we're just going to look and see their products. So they have, what is this? Balm stick, lavender.
Their balm stick is their best seller. Oh, wow. Look at that. So once again, in the category, their best sellers are the ones that are in line with what the best in the market is doing in this category. So if I was this brand and I was using Smart Scout, I would come in and see what the category leaders are doing, and then I would know. So if I was Zyna, if Zyna was my client, which, hey, Zyna, if you're watching this right now, reach out to me. I can help you.
Yeah, somebody at them in the comments. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, because look at that, Michael, hover over that second product there. They've got this beautiful spa basket, which would be doing so well. And I bet if we were to do an ad spy on the top competitors in the space using Smart Scout, we would see that they do not have the keywords that they need or the coverage that they need to dominate this category. They have a great product, it's clear, but they're not covering any of the market. They've got a tiny little piece of this humongous market. They have competitors doing 400,000 a month in one bar soap. Like, come on. I know that they could do better, but they just don't know that they can do better because they obviously aren't using tools that show them what their competitors are doing. So that, I think we should bring up like the other guy. But before we do that, let's go into that other, the seashells soap that you found initially. Let's look at their brand and see what they're doing.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's see. So
I think I usually click on the brands tab because that should take us back to, oh, okay. Or you could just type in, it's called Westman Works.
Yep,
Westman is all
Works.
Yep, all one word. And then, yes, let's see.
Interesting primary subcategory. They must do lots of interesting things. Let's pull them up really quick.
Oh, yes. Let's look at their products.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Like nothing to do with seashell soaps.
Yeah, very interesting. Lots of little odds and ends.
Their best seller is a rosary.
Yeah. You got looks like almost collectibles is probably like what you'd say these guys do a lot of.
And then that's another interesting thing is like, so we were looking at those kids soaps and then this rosary thing. So we were talking about collectibles from the very beginning. And, this rosary is actually a kid's rosary. Look, it's in the category of baby products. That's not something you would think about, right? So, this gets my creative juices flowing. I'm like, ooh, okay, shaped soaps in the kids category are very popular. And now look at these other types of collectible things in the kids category and in baby. So yeah, so we can see that their soaps do pretty well, but not their best sellers.
Interesting.
Yeah, not really like a true private label. Looks like they're more of like a white label or wholesale company, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and so interesting that you mentioned that. One way we can actually test that theory really quick is if we look at their so if we look at the sellers who sell them, this tells us really quick. So it is Movement Brands, and they are the exclusive seller. So that means that they're either more of like a white label or private label, right? Kind of that. This is what tips me off to know if somebody's wholesaling or not, which is always like good to know.
Yeah, because if there's like multiple sellers selling that that product or whatever, then we can see, right?
Yep, exactly. Like I'm always looking to see how many sellers are in how many sellers are private label versus wholesalers. So
what's that suppliers tab you got there? What's that all about?
So the suppliers tab is actually more for people who do wholesale. What we've done is we've just compiled a list of brands and like who you can reach out to potentially source that brand. We have a team that goes through and does that. We just had lots of requests for people always asking like, okay, how do I find my first supplier? So we put that list together. I'll say that we try to update the data, but it can be hard to like keep tabs on all those people. Best thing you can do if you're in that situation is definitely making your own relationships, but we do have that as a resource.
Got it. Okay, cool. So can we go back to Zyna again, the Zyna tab, and let's pretend that Zyna is my client and they're like, we're doing okay. We're a growing brand. We would like to do better. Can you guys tell that I have this conversation a lot? We want to do better. We see our competitor, like this Scotch soap brand, like they're just crushing it and they're doing like 400,000 a month on one bar of soap. And we have this great product and it's just not selling. So what can we do to make it sell more so we can compete more in our category? And so this is when I have these kind of questions, this is when I'm like, okay, I know exactly what to do. And I pull up Smart Scout and I pull up the brand of the closest competitor. I look at the closest competitor. Sometimes I'll look at the top competitor and look at what products they're selling, which is what we just did, right? But I'll also look at the brand, and I will use the search terms tool. I also love to use the traffic graph to see where they're getting their traffic from. So let's do that, Michael. Let's pull up the primary brand, which is bring up the new brand, which is who was the winner? It was like Dr. Scotch.
Yep. So we go back to
Dr. Squatch. It's Squath. Dr. Squath. And let's see what they're doing. We're going to spy on them a little bit. Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, it's ATCH. I'm sorry. I did not give you the C before the H. That's why we're not.
I wonder. I'm like, that's.
Because sometimes brands will not show up here, and that's how you know that you spelled it wrong, or they're too small for you guys.
It actually might be, and yeah, so it can be finicky with like you have to type it in as it is on Amazon. There you go. Like I was missing the period there, and it actually showed us a different Dr. Squatch.
They're doing 4 million a month. Let's look at their products. So I always go to the little search glass, and then all right. So let's see. Their number one product is what? What's that?
Looks like it's body
odor
spray.
squatching natural deodorant. $463,000 in odor squatching natural deodorant. Oh my gosh. And then their soaps. Okay.
We saw these earlier. Yep. There's those soaps we're talking about.
Okay. And let's see what search terms are dominating for them.
So we click over here, and they're on over 2,000 different search terms. They have lots of native searches, but then they're also they're in some of the bigger ones like soap, men's soap, bar soap. Let's see here. Let's look at first page keywords really quick here. See if I find anything interesting.
And the other thing I'll do sometimes is I'll just pull up one product and then do search terms from that too. Because right now we're seeing brand products, right?
Yep. That's a great point. Let's roll back. Also, we're more because of where we're at. We're not interested in their brand. We're more interested in their soap. So let's walk through that path too.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do Ad Spy. Oh, they're competing with Dove. Their eucalyptus soap
for men,
Ivory, edible soap. And there's people who look for that. That's pretty cool.
In case you prefer to eat your soap, I guess if you can eat it, it's pretty natural.
Yeah. But what I love to do here as well is I love to go over to Keyword Detective. This is where we could really compare what keywords are they using versus their competitors. Now, this is with products. Actually, I'm going to go back a step and do this actually with the brand. This is one where you actually want to do the brand itself because you can actually see how brands compete with each other. So Dr. Squatch has 7,000 search terms that it's on, and of those, 4,000 are unique and that they're not used by Dove or Dove Men Plus Care. And you can just kind of see where people are positioned. Like Dove is on 1 billion keywords, but also they have an extremely wide catalog, so it doesn't necessarily mean that Dr. Squatch isn't optimizing their keywording. It's more so that Dove is just probably in more lines, so therefore they have more keywords that they're optimized towards. And then in paid advertising, we can see that Dr. Squatch is competing with Axe in a lot of different different keywords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that I love to do here is I like to go back to the first page keywords.
Yep.
That tab, I like to look at that because I want to see,
It's actually you do that with this.
Oh yeah, there we go. Let's go to Rank Maker. I really like Rank Maker because this shows me, what keywords are they using that's actually helping their rank and really driving their ranking. Am I correct about that, Michael? Is that
Yes.
exactly what it's showing me?
Yep.
Okay.
Like what's really making a difference?
And then the other thing that I noticed about them is that they have most of their like driving keywords are actually branded keywords. And so if you're trying to steal market share from people that have built a strong brand off of Amazon so that people are actually searching for their brand, it's going to be tough for you unless you're a master marketer. And, so stealing a portion of their market might be possible if you make a really great soap, but on Amazon alone, it might be hard because we can see that a lot of their driving keywords are actually branded keywords. Where if it just said pine soap, pine handmade soap, then we knew, oh, okay, I can come to market with pine handmade soap and I can, master that. So, but this is really interesting. What is that one that say bar soap with money? What does that say? Hover over that search term.
A bar soap with money in it.
What?
Apparently, yeah.
There's like no searches for that, but it's interesting to see that
they're aware of it.
Yeah, and maybe that's one of their differentiations, that they're driving external traffic, so people are looking for that. So that's really, really
maybe it was in a commercial. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
The commercials are pretty outrageous. So
what I love to do is export this data. So if I am Zyna and I want to grab some more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my search terms. You could pull up Zyna's search terms, and then I'm going to look at so Zyna search terms on one, and then I'm going to look at the rank maker for Dr. Squatch, and I'm going to see what the comparisons are. Now, number one, they could be actually advertising against Dr. Squatch because maybe somebody's looking for more of a feminine side, right? Dr. Squatch seems to be very masculine, and they have, really great. So you never know. They could target some of that. And then it's really interesting. I'm going to look for those keywords that actually have a decent amount of search that are relevant to my product that I'm not covering. And so I'm going to utilize the best seller, maybe I'll go to another soap that's also doing really well that has more of a feminine touch, since that seems to be what Zyna is doing besides the kids stuff, right? And I would compare their search terms with mine and see. The other thing that I want to try, can we pull up the traffic graph for this number one selling ASIN so we can show everybody what the traffic graph looks like?
Yep. So let's go back to their products really quick. Let's grab this ASIN first off. And then, we're just going to come up to the traffic graph.
This is going to be interesting. So the traffic, we used to have Yasi for Amazon, which I loved. And then it disappeared one day. And then you guys came along with this amazing traffic graph. So we can see here, are the arrows to them or away from them? They're to them. So what this tells me is we see some arrows away from them, which go to their own products, it looks like. And then we see some arrows to them, which are other products that are kind of, advertising, getting their traffic from these guys. So what I love to do is kind of click on, what is that? Is that a soap dish?
Yeah, sorry. So this is one thing I like to do. This is what I recommend you do, is kind of paint your own picture here, because obviously this looks like a conspiracy theory if you just look at it, right? All the way that everything ties together. But like, you got to kind of be able to tell a story. So I'm just pulling out stuff that's sending traffic. There we go. All right, now we can kind of understand better, because the way this works is it works in layers, right? So we can go out as many layers as we want. It gets really crazy. And eventually you end up with bath hooks and shower rings and all kinds of crap. But we're just focused here. So what's the immediate stuff? Yeah, it looks like you got this kind of a zany looking
soap dish.
Soap dish. A wooden soap dish. I really haven't seen that much. And then we've got, what is this, beard oil maybe?
And look at the monthly revenue too. You can look at, so like go back to that other soap dish, that cool looking soap dish. So you're looking for ideas, like this little soap dish is doing for $4,900 a month. You know, you could look into this category, see what's going on there. But it's really interesting to me to just discover other products. And what I like to do, Michael, is I like to click on the graph for this so that I can the spreadsheet. So I click on that and then it brings up the traffic sources and I can see what's the strongest source. So what is hover over that top one.
Interesting.
Oh, bags for soap.
Interesting.
All these soap accessories. So if I'm Zyna right now, I'm going to be looking at this and going, oh, I'm not advertising against soap dishes at all. Oh, I'm not advertising against these, these natural soap bags at all, right? And I'm going to find all these opportunities to expand my advertising in ways that I hadn't before. And that I think is really, really powerful. And not only that, I'll think of other ideas of how I can expand my brand. So other products, obviously people are buying soap dishes when they're buying, soaps. So, looking at that and seeing what is on brand and what might be cool, I just had an idea of creating a really cool soap dish for kids soaps because there's baskets, but those things are ugly. So it might be cool if you have like alphabet soaps or something for kids. Like how cool would it be if your soap dish like had the letters on it and the kids could put their soaps back, there's so many cool things you can do, right?
You can get inspiration so fast. Like for example, a thought that I just had is actually this should be the packaging that those original shells and stuff that we saw at the beginning shaped soap. It should come in this as a bag instead of little plastic wrapping. And that already adds like so much more interest to your product, especially when you're thinking it's collectible. It's something you're going to hang in your bathroom. It's not really going to be used soap. That looks so much better. That looks fantastic. Anyway, there's all kinds of inspiration you can get in just a couple minutes playing around with this.
Yeah. What I love about Smart Scout is just how visual it is and how I can really dig into the market. So if I'm thinking of getting into a certain market and, I had this idea about these soaps. And now I'm realizing, okay, I don't know if I'm ready to get into that market. Like there's in this specific area that my idea was in, there's not a lot of data that this is going to do super well. Now around Christmas time, I could look at a few other competitors. And if I decide to make like Christmas type soaps, I could do that. But the other thing that I'm going to look into is the specific shapes that I want to do, the collectibles that I want to do they're in specific shapes. And so I'm also going to look on the market, just like we started on Amazon in the beginning here. I'm going to look and see outside of soaps if people are collecting this shape as a collectible item. And I'm going to see if there's anything there, because if people are collecting it and I make it out of soap, it might be a really cool entry point into that. So I'm not done with my market research yet. And I'm definitely going to dig into Smart Scout and see what the top competitors are doing. But I absolutely love this tool. Okay, anything else, Michael, that we need to show everybody today?
I mean, these were like the main things I wanted to walk through with everyone. I guess one last thing we can highlight, we did launch an AI listing architect, so it will write your listing using AI. It'll rewrite your whole listing for you. So when that time comes, you could just throw it in there. For example, we can actually do that. I'll open you a new tab. I want to just copy that ASIN. Let's grab
AI
that
listing tool.
So let's really quick here. Let me just grab the ASIN, sorry. And then I'm just going to throw the ASIN in here. I know how cutting edge you are with AI, Amy. So
that's all I've been posting about lately. But I still sell on Amazon, you guys.
Yeah, it's like I'm a fan, not an expert.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't given up everything else for AI. Don't worry. I'm just
Yep.
making everything else better by using AI.
So basically, what this has done is it's pulled up the existing listing, which we're describing that soap dish listing, which is not fantastic. Like the bullet points aren't amazing. There's some keywords that could be better optimized. The product description isn't filled out, and I could actually just come over here. Let's make it. We're going to make it witty, so we can talk about what tone of voice we want to have it in, and we're going to say we want it to be witty. And I'm just going to say generate, and it's going to once again it's using the keywords from AdSpy that it's looking at with both this product as well as its competing products to find the best keywords. And then same thing for like, and then it's essentially just writing the best title and the best bullet points it can using those keywords.
Amazing. Okay, so now it's thinking, and
It's
it's going to
writing.
improve. I was playing with this with you guys at Prosper when it was just being released, and I was having so much fun with it.
Just a second more. Hopefully it's good. We're not waiting for nothing. I know we all thought that speaking of AI, that has been the biggest change in my life is I think that we all thought that we were living in a world post loading bars. And then if you're using ChatGPT-4 at all, it's actually quite slow, but it's very good.
Yes, that's so true.
Okay, awesome. So here's our new title. Once again, it's highlighting those keywords that it's using that come from here. Here's our new bullet points. We can already see that those are beefed up a little bit from where they were before. And then there's our new description. We didn't have one before, and it just wrote us a description.
Oh, wow. So obviously when you're using AI tools like this, you really do need to like just double check and make sure that, you know, whatever content it's giving you is still relevant to your listing.
Yep.
But it adding these extra keywords in where we hadn't thought to do that before. What I like about this is it's just adding on to our existing listing, making it even better. So, you know, this is a great way for people at first glance to just pull up their listing and generate some extra stuff and go, oh, there are a few small changes I could make in my listing. Really cool.
Yeah, you could really dial in. And you could also do the same thing if you're launching a product, you can dial into a competitor's listing. But yeah, I thought that would be fun to share a little bit with you as kind of like a little final teaser of some of the stuff we've been working on lately.
I love it. All right. I suppose we can come back together here. Well, thank you so much for sharing these tools with us today. This is like I said, one of my favorite tools. I'm in there all the time. I know you guys, if you've ever had a coaching call with me, you've been on Smart Scout. If you're in my mastermind group, you know about Smart Scout because I use it all the time. Because, you know, just being able to see the market at a glance, being able to pull up a competitor and see what products they're selling, see how much revenue those products are doing, see which variations they're selling, which are doing well. Being able to pull up a product and see where their traffic is coming from is so telling and can really help me grow against my competitors. Seeing their search terms, what they're using to actually rank their products, not just reverse searching in ASIN. This is just bringing the data to the next level. It's giving me the information that I need in order to compete. And every single time that I've applied these processes, that I've applied the search terms that are missing from you looking at a competitor on Smart Scout to a client's campaigns, it has made an immediate difference because those search terms are super relevant and they're just missing from their existing advertising infrastructure and sometimes from their listings as well. There'll be a keyword in there where we're just like, oh, why aren't we targeting that keyword? Why? You know, so it's just a beautiful way to see, can I grab more of the market? Looking at your competitors, doing all of that. It's amazing what you guys have done. And yeah, I'm glad that it's too long since we've been on a live stream together going over this stuff and nerding out.
Thanks for having me, Amy. This has been awesome.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much. We'll, you know, check out the offer right up here. You guys can save 25% off Smart Scout when you use, for the first 3 months, when you use code Amy25. So check it out. Tell me what you think. And, you know, it's great. You guys are going to love it. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you guys next time on our Wednesday Wisdom series. Bye.